Here's check on stories we're following for you today on Robin Hood Radio. Pat Pagano's forecast? Well, we've got showers, it looks like, into the weekend. We'll get the details from Pat coming up in just a few minutes. Stories that we're following for you: the Connecticut legislature has eyeing enforcement on hospitals and also tree bills. That's right. State Representative Maria Horn said there are efforts underway in the Connecticut General Assembly to beef up the state's Office of Health Strategy ability to enforce the Certificate of Need provisions on hospitals, including Sharon Hospital. Horn was interviewed by telephone on Sunday by the Lakeville Journal. She said the OHS has done a good job thus far in staying on top of the issues surrounding the hospital. It is actively investigating whether hospital owner Nuvance is in compliance with state regulations, but Horn had no timetable to offer as to when the OHS will act. In the meantime, the legislature's Insurance and Real Estate Committee had a hearing last week on giving the OHS and or the Attorney General's office more authority to enforce CON provisions. Asked whether this will happen in time to affect the Sharon Hospital situation, Horn said, quote, "That's the million-dollar question." State Senator Craig Minor said in a phone interview also with the Lakeville Journal that Nuvance's position had remained consistent as the gap between Nuvance plans and what the community wants. Quoting here, "But for the first time, I am hearing from physicians concerned about the lack of staff and an unbearable work schedule," end quote. Meanwhile, Housatonic Meadows asked if still receiving emails and letters relating to the State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection's policy, for lack thereof, of cutting down trees in state parks. Horn said yes and added that the Environment Committee has approved a bill that requires the state to consult with arborists and have to have site rehabilitation plans in place before removing trees from parks. Lime Rock has gotten approval from the Planning and Zoning Commission on new garages and a kitchen. The Planning and Zoning Commission held public hearings and approved two related applications from Lime Rock Park. Opening the first public hearing, the Commission Chair Michael Clemens explained the first application for a special permit for excavation and filling the Paddock B area needed to be addressed first. The Commission could then consider the site plan for new garages at the Paddock as well as revamped kitchens in the Paddock infield. Engineer Todd Ritchie explained in order to build a 20-car garage unit for the storage of vehicles, some 100 cubic yards of material would have to be moved from one regulated area to another. The Commission approved the plan with the provision that the suggestions the Commission own engineer, Tom Grimaldi, had put forward. In the Millerton News, on the afternoon of Wednesday, March 16th, Wassaic Regiment murder suspect David Trotta, 26, was back in Poughkeepsie Dutchess County Court. He was there to have his mental capacity and fitness evaluated for a criminal case. Trotta is being tried for the stabbing death of his neighbor, 45-year-old Juan Carlos Cedillo, who was killed on Sunday, January 16th. Trotta was arrested at the scene shortly after EMS failed to save his life at the Wassaic apartment building where both of them resided. The Dutchess County District Attorney's Office is hiring a third doctor to evaluate Trotta, whose hearing was adjourned to Wednesday, April 13th at 2 p.m. At that time, it's expected two doctors who initially evaluated Trotta will testify to find their findings, as will the third doctor hired by the District Attorney's Office. A housing group is discussing zoning with hopes for local input in Millerton, as well as staying on top of news from Tri-Corner Coalition, which encompasses municipalities of Northeast Millerton, Amenia, and Pine Plains. Members from the Millerton Northeast Housing Working Group barnstormed tactics for approaching local zoning and soliciting community input on housing when they met via Zoom. After providing an update on the Housing Administrator Training Program, Hudson River Housing Director of Strategic Initiative, Elizabeth Dribak, announced a community conversation on housing will take place at the Amenia Town Hall on Saturday, April 9th from 9:30 in the morning until noon. It's a pretty busy weekend going around our tri-state region. Coming up today, the TGIF Super Supper is happening at the Salisbury Congregational Church. It's pickup, and that happens at Salisbury Congregational Church today in between 3:30 and 5:30. Not just soup, but also it includes bread, fruit, dessert, and Harney tea. To see if there's still more left, because it's always a sellout, call 860-337-2470. Sharon Audubon Center's Maple Fest and Maple Bake Sale will be held at the Sharon Audubon Center tomorrow. It's rain or shine from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. Ongoing tours of the sugaring operation, and more will be held. Information at sharon.audubon.org or 860-364-0520, extension 105. Coming up on Sunday, there's a pancake breakfast going on from 9 to noon at the American Legion Post in Millerton, $20 per person. Children 10 and under free. Includes pancakes, donuts, bacon, sausage, eggs, coffee, and juice. You need to reserve in advance to see if there's room or tickets still left. 845-475-4459. Our business brief is underwritten by Morgans at the Interlaken, interlakenin.com. You'll find them on Facebook and Instagram. They're open 7 days a week with specials every night for dinner. And, of course, they have a tapas menu. And by Salisbury Bank, salisburybank.com.